This would not have been possible if it wasn't for the event sponsors, CSIP,
Sí se puede.
Blue Robotics,
ASU.
and Microchip Technology. Let me get these in the right order.
Are we talking already?
No.
Okay.
Well, the first NERC back after many, many years, not going to go without its technical difficulties. We are back, though. Welcome to NERC, the National Underwater Robotics Challenge 2019 edition. This year's game, we have a very neat one. The theme for this year, the year is 2066. A new surgical approach has allowed a new type of way to do surgery on a patient.
Yeah. So the whole premise of the thing is that there was a person that went into a nuclear explosion meltdown. He was able to stop it, but he got a lot of radiation in his body, and because there was so much radiation, the surgeons and doctors were not able to do hand account contact with him, so they weren't able to do any diagnoses.
This hero prevented a nuclear meltdown, but also hit his head, which is why he suffered such a high amount of injury and radiation. This radiation prevents human contact, but to solve this, a team of expert roboticists are assembled to deploy a new robot using innovative shrinkage technology.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. They will use this vehicle to navigate through the patient and identify and map out to repair any damaged organs from the head injury and the radiation. This is a exciting event. We've already had one team, the Typewriter Repairmen, complete the mission, showing everybody how it's done and what all the mission tasks are. What a great game animation that they showed us today during their first ever run in the NERC 2019 mission.
Yep.
In these missions, every team from high school to college and to even adult family teams will have 20 minutes to do the mission and complete the run.
It's going to be a long night of fun competitions and fun runs, and I'm very excited to see what each team has to bring to the table.
Yep. With that said, we're going to go ahead and introduce our next team. They are the Honey Badgers. Their robot name is Captain Hook. They're comprised of 8 students and 2 coaches. They're from Surprise, Arizona, from Highland Prep High School.
Yeah. So some fun facts about their robot. They actually didn't get into the water until yesterday. So the teams knew about this competition for quite some time. I'm not too sure how long, but barely going into the water yesterday is a very bold move. I'm sure they didn't decide to do that, but it'll be very interesting to see how they do the rest of the competition, knowing that they have such limited time in the water.
Yeah, keep in mind though, this team is not inexperienced when it comes to underwater robotics. They've been recently doing the sea perch competition, and they just did that a few weeks ago, I believe. They did pretty well there, and now they're coming to NERC with the new robot, new skills, and they were able to qualify, which not very many teams did. So it is very impressive they were able to come here, qualify, and now they're in the big show.
Yeah, hoping their skills from the competition 2 weeks ago can transfer really well here at NERC.
Yeah. So with that said, we're going to go take a short break. I believe they're setting up right now, or looks like they just entered the water, so we're going to go down to the field. This field is a pool. We are here at the ASU Polytechnic campus. They've graciously allowed us to use the pool here, and teams are going to be completing their mission in this area.
I muted myself, but we can't hear them.
Looks like they're trying to get a good sense of where they are in the water. This competition is at night, so they are going to have to use their onboard lights and cameras in order to navigate through this area. It is pretty difficult. Not very many light, not very much color at all. So they will be having a tough time trying to figure out where they are and where all the mission tasks are.
So it looks like they're trying to navigate right now currently to the kidney.
And it looks like they could be having some potential power or intermittent issues with their camera. You can see it's sort of jittering. Can't confirm whether that's happening on their actual live feed.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can work around this and still complete their missions. Looks like they have identified the liver, so they will get points for that. Already off to a great start.
Yeah, and if the feed we're watching right now is their actual camera feed and is messing up like this, they're doing a great job. If that is how their actual feed is looking like.
Yeah, looks like it might have cut out. Came back in. We do have a field view in the bottom left of the webcast. This will basically, if the team's feed ever cuts out, we will have a decent view of the field and their robot and what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's connected in the right place. I muted myself.
It's like they're trying to readjust to figure out where they're at.
They are currently around the liver area, so looks like they'll be going for the liver enzyme tasks. Sorry, the target liver tasks. They seem
Looks like they're having a bit of trouble stabilizing themselves. Part of that might be because they might have lost their camera view.
yeah. So the only visual sensor they have, or all teams have, is their camera. So if the camera cuts out, they have no idea where they are, and will be having a lot of difficulties.
Yeah, lots of environmental factors are a big challenge in
Yeah.
this mission in itself. You have just, you know, the monumental task of trying to waterproof an electrical robot so that way you can throw it in the water and make sure you're not going to leak and fry your electronics.
And also buoyancy, right? So we've seen a lot of teams in the past attach, pool noodles, plastic bottles, anything to help with their buoyancy issues that some teams face. So you'll see some of the teams will have zip-tied pool noodles around the robot. It really helps.
And as you can see, it is very dark there. We host this competition at night, so teams are going to have to use their onboard cameras and lighting to basically figure out what they're doing. This is also a nice, chill, and cozy 100 degrees here in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah.
So, along with battling all of these conditions, they will also have to be working in the heat.
Yeah.
How well they manage that under stress is also going to be a big factor.
Although NERC does help them out a little bit by not doing it in the daylight, so they won't be hurting themselves too much in the heat.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade-off on working in the heat during the day or working with limited vision at night.
Right, technical reporters do a technical poster, do it if they've never done it. First doesn't have to do that. When did they learn? Those are the things where I think first calls short.
But those are also the things that it's good to do all the different. I mean, a ton of money, all the different things.
So it looks like they're back to the kidney task.
Right. I mean, that was the whole reason why I pushed for FTC because FTC is really good about their engineering notebooks.
And I don't know why FRC doesn't do that.
So I did. Yeah. So I did FTC.
So it seems to be that they're having some trouble kind of going above the kidney stones. It's a little hard to see it if you're not above it. So hopefully they can kind of get up over it so they can start identifying some of the kidney stones.
You know, do a technical report, do a technical poster. You don't have to, but why not? It helps you and it
Well, you and I know as judges, those things are important. When we stop by, like we saw those super documented stuff. We're like, holy,
but it's
detailed to.
okay. If you were to see the presentation
Looks like they're just trying to find their bearings. They may have problems moving as well. No, there they go.
and we said things like this, like you don't have to have this stuff, but a judge is gonna like to see these things. If you want robot awards, you need these things. If you want team awards, you need these things. And then still, all the teams that create that we interviewed for judges, they never lost. Learning curve. I'd like to see.
I'm muted to look at all the bugs on the lights.
So we're given more things, so it's not just a oh we got you.
So it looks like they are having a little bit better time navigating around the course.
Oh, I know, and the camera's like totally right.
It looks like they're somewhat content to try to stay near the bottom. You know, if you leave your robot at the bottom of the floor of the pool, that friction can sort of help reduce that momentum of any turning. Basically lets the robot drive like a car underwater. Just a little bit smoother.
You unmuted yourself.
Um,
Is that a problem if it's too bright?
So much bugs here.
looks like they are going for the enzyme. Looks like they are in position to do just that. Having some. Oh, looks like they're spinning. Spin to win.
Of, of course, spinning is really dangerous in this competition because the robots are tethered. So if you start spinning, you kind of coil up the tether. You know, it can get into some places you probably don't want it to get to.
Yep. We'll see if they can recover from that. Looks like they're trying to figure out what happened there. It's easy for us to see that they're spinning with the field cameras,
Yeah.
but they might not have necessarily known what happened.
It's very hard to tell how many times you've spun around when you only have a front view.
Yeah, and especially when that front view is blurred as a result of the spinning.
Yeah. Looks like they're going for the enzyme here. They have it in their sights.
Seems like just right when they're about to get it, the camera sort of cuts out. It looks like it might be a power issue. It seems like every time they give a little bit too much power to the robot, the camera kind of cuts out as well. So they might have to just go as slow as they can to try to complete this mission. Highland High looks like they're trying to recover and get a good grasp of the field. Looks like they're going much quicker through the water now, though. Looks like their camera view might have. Oh, it's back. Honey badgers trying to get themselves straightened out. The robot Captain Hook having a little bit of power issues. They are identifying quite a few objects though, so
Yeah,
they're
that
getting.
if the camera issue is on both ends, that might be what they're going for right now. It's always good to know if you identify a problem, what point can you get with the current problem. So that might be what they're looking to do now, is get as much identification points as possible.
Yeah, keep in mind, folks. Each team only gets 20 minutes to do the run. The clock never stops as soon as they start, so they're going to have to maximize all the points they can. Sometimes it's reasonable to fix a little problem on the sub, but sometimes you just got to go with what you got. It looks like they're doing just that. Looks like they're pushing on the service tray a bit. Looks like they knocked it off the platform. I think they've pretty much identified all the objects, so it looks like they got to go for one of the manipulation tasks now. Do something to try to get them a little bit ahead in the rankings. Keep in mind, too, that while the mission is very important for gathering and obtaining points, it is not the only thing that is scored in the overall score. So teams also have to submit a website, journal paper, and do an oral presentation, and all of that factors into how well they actually compete and where they're scored at the end of the competition.
Yeah.
From +4 to +18. So we'll have to run over there real quick and.
Okay, head over there before you do that.
No, I didn't hear a thing. Oh.
I'm muted right now, but is there a way we can get a timer? We get to know how much time they have left.
Don't know exactly how much time they have left, but they are working very hard to try to figure out how they can accomplish one of these tasks. Looks like they got one target right in front of them. Looks like they're at the liver. And with the liver task, there's a variety of things they can do. They can identify a liver structure, identify the correct liver sample that they need to do, remove that target liver, and basically take that liver to the surface so that way they can repair it.
Yes.
Actually, that might be their timer. That 5 minutes is the top, right?
Looks like they have about 5 minutes left. Plenty of time to try to complete one or two more of these tasks.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that they have to be out of the water at 20 minutes or before. No?
I'm not sure on that.
Or can they just call it?
Yeah, they actually do have to be back on the surface within
Yeah.
the time limit.
Yeah. So if they're having some difficulty moving, they might want to keep that into consideration, as they still need time to also go back into the end surface.
Looks like the team is trying to plan out of what they want to do next.
And here's what's going out on the internet right now. Okay. So this is our live yeah. So this is looking at them, and there's even a microphone here, so we can hear them talk. Okay. Whenever their camera goes out, it's the ROV camera, the voltage dropping below 9 volts. Okay. So it has to come back.
So we have about 3 minutes left in their run. So let's see if they can get any more points here in the last stretch of their run.
It looks like they are going for a liver sample. Let's see if they can do it. We've seen them get very close to one of these objects many times before.
We might, as the teams get a little better, because you got to give them a year to try it. Because I remember when we did it the first time, the first year, like, almost.
Looks like they're doing a lot of spinning at the
Yeah.
moment, so hopefully their tether will be okay.
So it just takes
They do need to make it back before time runs out. It looks
Yeah.
like we do have unofficial time, 2.5 minutes left.
Looks like they are going back. They are around the area where the kidney stones are, which is closer to the base. Looks like they're slowly making their way back. Of course, if their camera is out, this is a marvelous job they're doing getting back, because they can't see, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a classic strategy of following their tether.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to get back to base, even if you're having camera issues. So great strategy by them. It definitely shows that they've been in previous underwater robotics competitions, and they are using those skills they learned
Yeah.
for this mission here today.
Looks like they are getting really close. We have unofficial time about a minute and a half for them to get back to base.
Can the Honey Badgers make it up? Looks like they are struggling with their up and down thrusters. Can they get up? Looks like they're inching ever so slowly up.
if they're on H2O website, does it count it on Twitch? Yes. Or only if they're on Twitch? Both. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's both. So, and that's something.
Looks like they're going up. Can they keep it up?
We're reaching unofficial time last minute of their run. They are inching also close up. They're getting
Looks
up.
like they're going up. Oh, do you see
and-
what they did? They rotated themselves, so now they're using their forward thrusters
Yeah.
to help go up because their vertical thrusters were having issues. They now surface. Team retrieves the robot. They
No
have
time
made it
penalties.
back to base. No time penalties. Looks like a successful run, and they are cleaning up.
Yep.
Congratulations to the Honey Badger. A great run there. They were having so many technical issues, but they still were able to overcome that. Great job on them. They got a lot of identification points. Didn't seem to get any penalties that run, so that's
Yeah.
going to be huge as we go
Yeah.
into these next couple teams.
Yeah. If during a run you're having issues, the worst thing that can happen is accumulating penalty points to just make it worse. So it's great to come out with no penalties in that.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to go into a intermission. We'll be back with the next team.